welcome everyone to RefineM's July webinar. We are going to talk about a very interesting topic that many of you may be interested in. How do project managers transition to Agile? What's their roadmap, and what kind of skills they need, what kind of roles responsibility they can do. So this is for everybody who wants to transition to Agile, and so we'll talk a lot about that. And I have not mentioned here, so at the end we are going to have a quiz, okay? And the winner of the quiz will get a $10 Amazon card also. Okay, so be attentive during the workshop, but during this webinar, because the questions, most of the questions are from this webinar. Okay. All right. So this we do every first Wednesday of the month, and we cover various topics. If you want to suggest a topic, then please go ahead and suggest that, and we'll take that in the future webinars. So we are going to start our quiz part here. So let me go and see if we can get started on that. So what I would like you to do, luncheon or webinars, we need to start this. Okay, so what you need to do is to go to menti.com and enter this code. So Philip, you can also try and see if you are able to do, so that will ensure that everybody is able to do. And once you go there, enter the code, and then you can actually, yeah, okay. I have started seeing some of you started putting your comments here, so that's very good. So I've seen only one of you go there. Okay, good, very good, very good. You can do it over phone or laptop or iPad, whatever is possible to you. Okay, understanding of roles, PDUs, I understand that, roadmap, learning, lot of learning, refresher, transition. Okay, very good, very good. Yeah, I have so far 8 people. Very good. Transition seems like a big word. Learning, transition, refresher. Very good, very good. I'm getting more and more input. Excellent, excellent. Good job, very good, very good. Okay, so that was great. So that was great, and we'll come back to this. In the meantime, others can put their inputs, and we'll come back to this. Okay, so let's go back here. Many of you may already know me. My name is N.K. Shrivastava. I am CEO and consultant at RefineM, the company that started in December 2011. We do project management consulting in training, agile transformation. I myself work as enterprise agile coach at IBM. I might have helped more than a dozen teams transform to agile, more than 3,000-4,000 people transform to agile. We have developed several products that is useful for project management and agile community. You can try them out, and then over 20-25 years I have been leading projects. That's what is my whole career has been. Okay, so next 2 webinars, as I was telling you that we do webinars every first Wednesday of the month, right? So August 5, and this will be through projectmanagement.com, maturity assessment for agile teams. So if you are part of an agile team, or if you are a scrum master or an agile coach, how do you know that teams are doing well? What are the weak areas? What are the strong areas? And all those kind of things. So you can use this this webinar to find out how you do that. What are the different tools available? And we have one tool too, but there are others. So we'll talk about basically assessment part of it. And then on September 2, we'll be talking about agile leadership. That's what we'll talk about. Agile leadership is very different than conventional leadership. It's a very, very different mindset, very different culture. In many organizations, the leadership doesn't go through agile transformation where they want, or they ask that the teams below them go through, and then it's a issue. And we have several products here as well listed here, so you can take note of that. So roadmap for project managers to transition to agile. So this is the high level roadmap to transition to agile. And the time estimates on these different milestones on the roadmap can vary, okay, but sequence probably may not vary, okay. So roughly you first learn what agile is, right? And we'll go into details of each of these. So you first learn what the agile is, and then understand roles, responsibilities, skills, and then maybe get certified, okay. So this will help you prepare to get onto agile. So this is like getting to know what agile is, what are the roles, responsibilities, what is the manifesto, and what is the culture looks like. So that's a kind of, you prepare yourself to transition. Most of the project managers normally skip all of this and try to just come here, and then they struggle, okay. Or they just come here and they struggle. So these are the three important milestones before you can start getting into a team. So if you're assigned to a team, maybe then quickly go through this as you are part of the team, but don't skip these things, okay. And then you work with small teams, then expand, go become larger, and then do it at the enterprise level, okay. So that's the kind of roadmap how you transition, and we'll get onto each one of this, okay. So let's talk about the first part, learning manifesto, principles, and mindset, right? That's the core of agile. We are not talking about any processes, we are not talking about any tools, okay. The reason for that is the very first sentence on the manifesto. The very first sentence on the manifesto, it's about individuals and interactions, not processes and tools. That is why it is important to learn manifesto, principles, mindset. That's a most important thing. And I think with the rise of agile and a lot of process-based people and companies have entered into this, and they have actually made it more about process and tools, unfortunately. But the core part of agile manifesto, you see things on the left. And I sometimes see that about discussion starts with what tool you are going to use. It doesn't start with what principles we are going to follow, okay. What the culture change need to happen. The discussion doesn't start there. It starts with what's the process. Oh, we are doing software development. What's the process? What tools we are going to use? Are we going to use Jira? Are you going to have GitHub or what? So the conversation starts actually what is in the right, okay. And I have seen that happen. Maybe I don't know if you have seen it or not, but I have seen that happen. So to be a true agile person, I start from the left-hand side. And that's important. Individual interaction, working software, customer collaboration, and willing to change. Okay, so most of you might have seen this manifesto, but you live this manifesto when you are part of Agile. You live this manifesto. This should be reflected in your day-to-day actions. Okay, and then these 12 principles also should be reflected in your day-to-day work. The way you talk, the way you behave, the way you interact with people, the the priorities that you give to what the focus, where the focus should be, where you spend more time. Do you spend more time discussing, you know, so do you discuss more about other than satisfying customer? You know, do you discuss things, or you spend time, or how do you work together daily? What are the ways that we can work together daily? So how you are implementing these principles and focused on this principle is important part. So to do that, you need to have a very good understanding of what this principle is, what the principles are. And then mindset. So how do you think? And that is a very big change, very big change. So normally when you work in non-agile environment, you may not value, your focus may not be value, your focus may be milestones, maybe project requirements, maybe all those kind of things, which is different. That may not be wrong too. But if you are working in an agile mindset, your focus is on value, what value you are delivering, and how fast you are delivering that value to the customer. And always cost and time are fixed, and scope is variable. In agile projects, the scope is variable. You can change the scope, okay, based on customer needs. Delivering highest value, delivering working software, self-managing team, don't need managers. That should not be the mindset. Okay, self-managing team still need people to do some other things. Delivering fast with self-managing team does not mean chaos or poor quality. Sometimes that is what is taken. Oh, this self-managing team, they definitely need somebody to manage that. Otherwise, they will deliver poor quality. No, that doesn't happen. That self-managing teams can deliver quality, and it also doesn't mean chaos. So a lot of those things need to be kept in mind when you start your transitioning. So that's the first milestone. Okay, that's the first milestone that need to be achieved. And then understanding roles and responsibility. So there are three most what you call as roles that make sense for project managers to transition to. Okay, there may be other roles, but these are the three roles that are most logical. Okay, and I will tell you product owner also. You may be thinking, how come product owner? So Scrum Master, most of the project managers think that they can do the job of a Scrum Master, and I think they can. They definitely can. And then product owner. Why product owner? I have put because many project managers actually know the business also. Like PMI introduced PMI PBA, if you heard of that certification, which basically talks of the about the business aspect or the requirements aspect. So if you are a project manager who has expertise in a particular business or a product, well, maybe you know a lot of financial product because for last 20 years you have been working in financial industry, okay, or you are working in healthcare, or you have been working in retail, whatever, right? So if you have that knowledge of that particular business, then you can be a product owner too, because product owners need to know the business and the product. And if you know that, then you can play that role too. There are very few people who will tell you that you can play that role, right? But if you are like, you do not have much knowledge about the business area, then maybe that this particular option may not be a good fit. Okay, but if you have, then this is a good fit. And believe me, in agile teams, there is lot of shortage of good product owners. Good product owners. You'll have customer stakeholders, you will have the team, you will have the scrum master, but you will not have a true product owner. So I have coached and I have mentored many teams, and my first question is, where is your scrum master? Where is your product owner? Those two are two critical roles, very critical roles. And many times I see product owner missing, team doing that role themselves, and they are figuring out the priorities and all that. Okay, so that's another very good option for project managers who have expertise in a business area. Okay, and then of course agile coach, somebody who is doing a coaching for the team. The agile coach will actually coach scrum master how to perform scrum master role, how to perform product owner role, how to work as a team. So all those kind of things, how to build that agile mindset, how to bring agile culture in the organization. He or she may be coaching the leadership too. Okay, so that's another role that a project manager can play based on. We'll talk about different roles, and we'll talk about what skills are needed to perform that role. So you can see where is the skill gap if you have, and then you can have a plan how to bridge that gap. So one of the things that I try to bring is that, okay, here's the practical situations and practical advice, but that practical advice comes from how to take action, right? What need to happen. Okay, so we'll talk about roles, and most of you may know about roles. We'll talk about skills too to achieve these roles, because these are the three possibilities for Scrum for project managers to move into this. Okay, so let's take a pulse here again. So before we go further, let's talk about where you are in your transition to agile. We thought about the roadmap. So what do you think where you are? Not yet started thinking about it though. Okay, well, right. There are two people who, okay, there's some, you can see the more pies in the pie chart. Okay, very good, very good. Playing key role in agile, very good, got certified. So excellent, excellent, excellent. Okay, okay, very good, very good. So many of you, half of you, you're not started yet thinking about it, which is fine. And this may be a very good kind of knowledge that you'll get from here to create your own roadmap, right? Just started working in an agile team, learning, very good. And then some of you are playing key role. Excellent, very good. So some of you who are playing key role can see how this journey, you might have gone through this journey already, right? You might have gone through this journey. Okay, let's go back to this. I don't know how this thing came up. Okay, so let's look at the next one here. Role of Scrum Master. So we talk about role of Scrum Master. So Scrum Master is a servant leader, right? He is a person who serves, right? He is the one who eliminates barriers to progress, right? Eliminate blockers. And he's an expert in Scrum. He knows how Scrum works, right? And he educates other team member, product owner, and everybody how to work with Scrum. So what are the ceremonies of Scrum, how those ceremonies can run or should run, And so starting from product owner, how the backlog should be groomed, what are the responsibilities and accountability for the product owner, prioritization, how to prioritize, helping product owner on, arranging, coming up with an approach to prioritize. Sometimes, it's a simple approach like, oh, customer asked for it. That's fine. If the customer says this is the priority, so customer's priority is the team's priority, which is fine. Sometimes it says, okay, customer may ask for it, but there are dependencies, there are other issues related. So how do you come up with priorities? And that's the kind of thing that a Scrum Master will work on product owner to basically set the process. Okay, he's the custodian of the Scrum process. Okay, so he says okay, how the daily stand-up should run, how the retrospective should run, how do we measure, if their team is implementing a tool, how to implement that tool, and all those kind of things. So that's what is the Scrum Master role. And for product owner is the voice of customer. Okay, and he creates, refines roadmap, backlog, and helps with user stories. So that's what the customer, that's what the product owner role is, and he will do the prioritization and things like that by refining the backlog and refining the roadmap and things like that. And then for Agile coach, the key role, he coaches the key roles and the team and the leadership also. So basically, he facilitates building Agile culture and mindset. That's one of the things that a coach comes and does, and he will make sure that the right mindset, right culture is built. And also, he's the one who is supposed to navigate organizational complexity and politics that people inside the organization may not be able to do. Okay, they may not know how to deal with this complexity or how to deal with the organizational politics. So he's the one who can help navigate those, who can help team learn about those and remove those kind of barriers from the organization. He is the one who will listen a lot. Okay. Listen a lot, will understand where the organization is, will assess what are the needs of the organization. And normally he is the one who is usually thinking about the entire organization first, then the team. So how from top to bottom, how this whole organization need to be transformed, not just one team. So if only one team focus, there are very few Agile coaches that may have one team focus. Many times they have, and they hire in the industry. There's a there is a very less difference between a coach and a Scrum Master. And normally, if you are a team coach, we also call it a team coach, then you may have some similar responsibilities as the Scrum Master, and maybe some additional one to coach and the Scrum Master and product owner too. And then, coaching and mentoring the Scrum Master, so he takes over after the coach goes out. So that's the kind of thing. But the coach, it can do much more. They can help to transform entire organization, or if it is a very large organization, like I told you, I work with IBM. So it's a 400, 500,000 people. So one coach may not be able to do all that. So you may be transforming an organization of 600 people or a 2,000 people or a 400 people organization. So organization within organization. So something like that. But normally that's what the coach does. So skills needed. So for a Scrum Master, you need leadership skills, but the servant leadership skills, the leader who serves, right? So somebody who doesn't give command and control, right? So that's what we are talking about. And he need to have a very strong value focus, problem solving skills. He should be great because he is the one who is going to remove the barriers to progress, right? So he need to have problem solving skills. And of course, he is the one who is, helping with different ceremonies. He need to have facilitation skills too. Okay, so you can start seeing as a project manager, what kind of skills I have and where are the gaps if I were to do the Scrum Master role. So where are the gaps? Okay. And how do I fill those gaps to become Scrum Master? So if you want to get into that role, then you can start thinking about, these are the things that a Scrum Master does. These are the skill sets. These are the skill sets that are needed. Okay. And then for product owner, you need to have business knowledge. You need to have knowledge of the product, knowledge of the business, so you can understand the customer needs, you can understand their requirements, you can articulate that, you are able to talk to them in their language, kind of thing. So that is what is very important for product owner to have. He should know how to do prioritization. So the customer may come back and they say, these are the 10 high priority requirements. Okay. But that's how it doesn't work in Agile. There's no like 10 top priority. Everything has to be numbered 1, 2, 3, 4, 10, something like that. So he need to be able to talk and negotiate the priority with the customer and with the team. Okay. So a lot of negotiation skills will be needed. And then influencing skills. How do you influence? Because the people may not report to him or her. So how do you influence other people? Okay. So that's the kind of skills that a product owner need to have. Let's talk about the skills of a coach. So first of all, he need to have people skills. Should have skills to listen. Should have empathy. Should be able to be empathetic, listening people, understanding their problem, understanding their pain, what they are going through. Okay. Understanding their joys, understanding their happiness, or whatever that is. So somebody who can talk make people comfortable, kind of thing. So a lot of people skills are needed to be a good coach. You need to have that. And of course, you need to have coaching skills. How do you coach people? How do you tell people what to do and what is right, what is not right? And how do you say it? If there are different kind of people, and in addition to people, understanding people, how to coach them in the right direction. Okay. So, and quick assessment. So a coach goes to a team and very quickly he or she can assess what the team is doing here. What's the culture here? What's the strength of the team? What's the weaknesses of the team? So probably very quickly, it doesn't take like, weeks and months, probably in few hours or few days. He will talk to the team, he will talk to the, different people, and he can do a very quick assessment. So doing quick assessment is a skill that a coach need to have. A Scrum Master may not need to have that skill. A product owner may not have to have that skill. But a coach need to have this skill to assess very quickly, because then based on that assessment, he can create a roadmap for coaching the team. And he should be outcome focused. Outcome focused means why the team is implementing Agile. What are the goals that they are driving? Why they are doing it? And that starts from the top, the sponsors or the senior management who is putting their money into this. Okay. So very outcome focused. If you're doing certain thing, how it will result in outcome, or what we are going to measure. What measurements are important, what KPIs, what metrics are important. So that he needs to be a very, very outcome focused. Okay. And culture builder. Somebody who can change the culture of the organization. And very simple thing, let's say in an organization that or team, the culture is that people come for the meeting, but they are not focused in the meeting. Everybody has their phones and laptop, and they're busy on doing their stuff. When something is asked, and you say, John, oh, what's going on? Oh, can you please repeat? Because he was busy. I don't know if anybody named John is here in this, but that's just the example. So because he was busy with his stuff. He was not focused on that. He was not engaged. That's the culture of the and nobody minds it, right? So if the coach walks in and that happens, he will observe very quickly, and then he should know how to change this culture, because there is no point going to a meeting or call where you're not engaged. Maybe the meetings are too long there, you know, or maybe the meetings are not very valuable for somebody, you know, most of you, so you're busy with your stuff. Okay, he's a problem solver too. Okay, because there are you know, complex problems, organizational problem, the culture problem, the political issues. He need to be solving those kind of problems. And you know, the problem domain for coach is very different than problem domain for Scrum Master. So Scrum Master is mainly involved in, like, if the team is not making progress, where are the blockers? And they remove blockers so the teams can keep making progress. But in this case, it is about transformation. It's about team transforming to Agile, and what are the blockers for that? So his focus, Agile coach's focus for problem solving is different than Scrum Master's focus. Okay. And then of course he has to be facilitated, because he may be doing trainings, he may be, you know, doing workshops, and he may be doing all those kind of things. So he need to be a good facilitator too. Okay, so I will pause here for a few seconds, and if you have any questions, or if you have any thing that you want to talk about, I see some questions here. NK, what's the difference in role of an Agile coach? So I hope that question was answered by this explanation. So okay, so any yeah, there's a question from Bala Subramaniam. How do you get certified in beginning stage when you transfer it? Don't you gain? Very good question, and I will get to certifications very soon. Bala Subramaniam, I will get to certifications very soon. Okay, so good questions. Okay, Mustafa, sometimes customer number 1 priority has a dependency on a number 10 priority. Yes, that happens. So that is what the product owner should be able to resolve. Okay, so that is something that, so either number 10 has to come and sit as number 2, so that they are both are high priority, or number 1 has to go down to 9 or 10, and that's the negotiation that need to happen. And explaining the customer that this is the dependency, articulating it, why there is a dependency, and things like that. Okay. Karen is asking about, so do you think that someone who wants to become an Agile coach should have served as Scrum Master first? That will be very helpful to serve as a Scrum Master to become an Agile coach, because you will understand Scrum. And Agile coach may not implement just the Scrum. That's another important thing. So Agile coach is implementing Agile. Scrum is one way of implementing Agile, right? You can implement Agile by implementing Kanban, by implementing Scrumban, by implementing Lean, by implementing XP. Okay, there are different methodologies. But what happens that so you need to come out of this. And another thing is that when a coach goes and assesses the organization, Scrum may not be fit in every situation. Okay, so coach may have to have much more knowledge than just Scrum. But if he practice the Scrum Master role, that is going to be helpful. Okay. Do you see a situation where a Scrum Master also serves as a coach? Yes, possible at the team level for sure. At the team level for sure. If you're a team of 8-10 people, then these two roles can be can be merged together in a single person. Yes, yes, but not at the enterprise level, or at the bigger level where you have multiple teams. Okay, very good questions. Very good questions. Let's keep moving. So Certifications. That's the next one. So Bala Subramanian, you're asking about certifications. So there are probably I don't know, 3 dozen certifications for Agile. And I did a webinar on Agile certification some time back, and the recording of that is available on RefineM YouTube channel. So if you go to YouTube, type RefineM, you will get to the channel, and you say this show all videos, you will find a video over there. There are probably about 3-4 dozen videos there. So you can see all kind of certification, and that was like a couple of years ago. Now maybe there are more certification. So now what I did, I categorized into 4 categories. Okay, there are certifications that are offered by PMI. There are Scrum certification offered by different organizations. There are Kanban certifications, and there are scaled Agile or scaling Agile certifications. Okay, so we'll look at each one of them, let's say. So from PMI side, there are 2 kind of certification. One is Agile Certified Practitioner, PMI ACP. And then there are multiple disciplined Agile certifications. I think 3 or 4. So those are offered by PMI, and most of them will need some experience. So Bala Subramanian, I'll call you Bala if you don't mind. So Bala, these are the certification that need experience. So if you have no experience, you should have at least some experience working in an Agile team. Okay, you may not have played the role of a Scrum Master or product owner, but you just worked in the team. So that's the kind of need for these certifications. Then on Scrum, you have several certifications like Certified Scrum Master, Certified Scrum Product Owner, Certified Scrum Coach, Certified Enterprise Coach, Certified Scrum Trainer is not there because that's not related to this. Professional Scrum and Scrum Certified. There's a lot of this. And most of these do not require any experience, at least the first level, Scrum Master. And as CSPO also doesn't need any experience. Some of them, maybe the coach will need some experience, but these 2 don't need. And then professional PSM doesn't need, professional Scrum Master doesn't need any kind of experience and all that. So you can get some certification without experience. And the purpose of these certifications is to teach you about Scrum. Okay, teach you about Scrum. So that's the purpose of these certifications. Then there are other certifications in Kanban world. So professional certification with Kanban that is offered by Scrum, Lean Kanban, and there is a Kanban Institute also. There are a lot of certification for Kanban, and Kanban is getting more and more popular because Scrum can only be applied in a product development environment. People try to fit that in operational environment, and it doesn't work well, and they struggle. Particularly, the first thing is, how do I write user stories? There are no user stories; there are tasks. Okay, so like if you want to transform a sales team into Agile, what you're going to do? There are no stories there. The salespeople are working on leads, right? Opportunities, leads, and they follow through a series of events, a series of steps from start to finish to build a lead into a an opportunity to lead to a customer, right? Yes, I'm coming to that, safe Bob. Very quickly, I will be coming to that. So Kanban is getting very popular. And also there is one in Scrumban where you are not have strict rules of rules of Scrum, but you still follow a kind of 2-week cadences. Okay, cadences. Okay, so that's what something is you need to note. Okay. So Ajay is asking here, among these different certification options, is or are any ones more widely accepted than others? Okay, so what I have seen that CSM is very, very popular certification, certified Scrum Master for Scrum part. You know, if you want to do in a Kanban, go to the Lean Kanban word. Difficulty, he's asking about what is difficult. I'll say probably ACP may be more difficult because it requires 2 years of experience. And I have done CSM, I have done SAFE, I have done ACP. So SAFE is also not an easy certification. It is little difficult, but I think ACP is the difficult one. And the advantage with ACP is that it's not one methodology specific. That part I like about ACP. It basically covers all methodologies, not the scaled one, not the scaled one. Okay, so let's go forward. So yes, so somebody was asking about Agile. So when you go for scaling, in a scaling situation, it's not just one team, but it's a huge, big team. So instead of 10, 12 people, your team is now 100 people. You cannot have just one Scrum Master and one product owner for that 100 people team. You have to break that team into smaller teams, maybe 7 to 10 teams, right? Now, how these 10 teams will function together, how the things will be rolled up, and what will happen at program level and portfolio level, right? So that is where the SAFE come into picture, and you have SAFE analyst, SAFE Scrum Master, SAFE program consultant. So there are 3 or 4 certifications for SAFE. And similarly, there is another framework called as large scale Scrum, less. There is a certification for that. So there are so many certifications that you can do. So the PMI certification, there are Scrum certification, there are Kanban certifications, there are scaled Agile certifications. Okay, so I'll pause here for maybe 15, 20 seconds before we move forward to see if there are other questions related to certifications. So SAFE is about 70 people or more, and disciplined Agile can be for both big and small. I think disciplined Agile is also a framework, more formal framework. So I think when you come to a formal framework, if you try to apply for a smaller team, probably it will not give you the value. Okay, it will give you the value only if applied to larger teams. For smaller teams, actually, you don't need a lot of framework and a lot of process. You know, it is not about the process. It's about people and interactions. So, so that is why keep your process down to minimum for a team level. But when you get to larger teams and more teams, then you will need some structure. And that's where these scaled things and disciplined Agile and SPT, scaled Agile and less and all those things come into play. So disciplined Agile is also a framework. If you see that, it's also a framework, but it's not a methodology. So methodology is Scrum, Kanban, Lean, XP. They are the basic methodology. They say, okay, here are some of the recommended practices that you should follow. They don't even tell you how to do that. Okay. So they say you need to do a daily stand-up. You need to ask questions. This is the purpose of this. That's all. And then how you practice it's up to you. Okay. All right. So the next one is a start with small. So so we got the basic knowledge, we got the certification. Now we're talking about start with a small team. So do a small team project. Be a part of the team. Maybe play a Scrum Master role, or work as whatever you can. So just get the experience how this thing works. Okay, very simple. Start very simple. Try attending some of the ceremonies. Try a few practices that you want to implement. If you are a project manager, you just are given a team, right? So try a few practices, and if you have gone through those certification knowledge and everything, you can start slow. Okay, start slow. Don't try to do too much. So start slow, build on that. So that's how you start slow over, couple of months or so. Build this kind of thing. Okay, um, and then you can expand. Then you can actually go and start looking after maybe multiple teams, maybe a larger team, where you have scrum of scrums, or you can have some version of disciplined agile, some version of scaled agile, or whatever that, so just start building over that. Okay, and the second part is you need to analyze. So expand, analyze your results. So whatever the team is getting, set your matrix for improvement. That matrix could be productivity, could be quality, could be throughput, could be lead times, whatever that is. Okay, so focus on those results, and also analyze and assess agility. So those are two different things. So you can see how you are doing on achieving outcomes or the results, and then how you are doing your agile, or what practices you have implemented. So assess how team behaves in a different situation. That's the agility part. Okay, and then based on these two, decide how you're going to improve. Okay, have an improvement improvement backlog, if you will. And for leading enterprise transformation, you need to prepare our nation for transformation. You need to work with the leaders, and first of all, start with why. That's the most important question. If you are tasked, you are in a situation, or you are tasked to say, okay, we want to transform this organization to agile. An organization may mean the whole organization if there are less number of people, a small organization, or organization may be the organization within the organization, as I was talking about IBM, or larger companies where you have hundreds of thousands of people. So the organization for that will be like organization within the organization. So prepare, ask the question why. Always ask the question why you're doing it, what are the goals, what are the KPIs you're looking for, and get that established. What are the baselines, how we are doing on those now, right? So that's the kind of, you're preparing the organization. You may want to bring in a coach. Okay, so bring in a coach, because you need to have a a voice which is from outside or different than the organization. Because sometimes if you are inside the organization, you may be saying same thing for years, but nobody listens, right? You might have seen, if somebody comes from outside and said the same thing, people listen. So, it's just the psychology. So but that happens most of the time, right? So start transformation, build a transformation roadmap, start transformation, measure outcomes. That's very important. So you can be within the organization, leading the organization. Okay, or you can become the coach for that transformation also. Okay, so you don't have to bring a coach, but you can be the coach, or you can be the coach for not your organization within the organization, but it could be other organization within the organization. Okay, so that then you start leading agile transformations. So once again, that's the journey. I don't know why this little sign has come up in my screen, but that's the roadmap. That's the roadmap that I wanted to share with you. Start with manifesto, understanding of principles, mindset, understand roles, responsibility, get certified, start small, expand agile, and then lead. So that's the roadmap, and it may take, here it says maybe more than a year or so, which is reasonable. Okay, but you should be nicely positioned to be working with a team in about 2 to 3 months. But don't miss these steps. Don't miss this step. Sometimes even if you don't get certified, that's okay, but don't miss these steps. Have a very solid understanding of, even you can get knowledge without getting certified. You can join a agile fundamental class that gives you good idea. I have some self-paced running classes on agile fundamentals. You can just go through those. Find a mentor if you're looking for a mentor, somebody who you can trust and who can guide you. Okay. So let's, I told you that we are going to have a quiz, right? So let's do the quiz. So for the quiz part, you have to actually put your names there. Okay, so I have 15 people so far entered in the quiz. Remember, I have a $10 Amazon gift card coming to you. Okay, so I will tell you what you need to do. So after the quiz is over, on your screens you will see your position and the winner. So you have to do a screenshot of your screen and email to trainings@refineM.com. Okay, trainings@refineM.com. So we know, okay, this has come, and we'll email you the gift card. So about 22 people in the quiz. Last chance for anybody else to join. Okay, here you go. Start quiz. So the quiz has started. So you have to answer not only correct, what are the most appropriate roles for PM in an agile environment? I was talking about this. So you get about 15 seconds to answer this question. You have to answer right, and you have to answer fast. Okay, Scrum Master, Product Owner, Agile Coach. Yeah, okay. So that 15 people answered right, four did not answer. So let's see 15 people, where they stand. See who is running ahead. Karen is running ahead. Very good. Very good. Let's see if Karen can maintain her lead. So now we are getting to a second question. What does the ACP in PMI ACP stands for? I don't know if we talked about that or not, but that's a kind of a general knowledge. Okay, so 14 people, Agile certified practitioner. Yeah, it is not Agile certified professional. So that was confusion kind of thing, Agile certified practitioner. Okay, all right. So let's see who got it. So let's say, yeah, there is an up and down here. So, okay, Kevin has gone up. Well, all right. All right. Okay. Let's see another question coming. A key difference between Scrum Master and Product Owner. What is the key difference? And many of you practice Agile, so this should be pretty straightforward. Okay, some people feel that Scrum Master is the boss. Okay, all right. All right, the true answer is that he's a process custodian, PO is a feature requirement custodian. Okay, so let's see how the scores look like. So let's see if there is any change in the top. Okay, Scott is leading now. Okay, so with every question we have the top person changing. Who is well positioned to navigate organizational politics? We did talk about that. Okay, 1, 0, here you go. Okay, Agile Coach, absolutely. Okay, okay, all right. So let's see, where do we? Okay, so Scott is still leading. This may be probably the last question, if I remember right. True or false? You need to start with a small team before expanding Agile. I'm hoping most of the people will get it right. The question is who picks it fastest. Okay, so most of you got it right. All right. Okay, I think that was the last question. So let's see who is the final winner. Oh, that was pretty close. The last one was pretty close. So let's see who is the winner. Okay, Scott. Scott is the winner. So Scott, you will see on your screen that you were the number one. So if you can take that screenshot and send it to trainings. Philip, if you can put that email address in the chat box.
Yes.
For Scott. So Scott, good. Congratulations, Scott, for winning the quiz. Okay, so let's get back here. Okay, so conclusion: make learning about Agile your foundation. Get certified. Start small. A coach can accelerate the process. Remember that a coach can always come and accelerate the process. Something that usually may take 6 to 12 months can be done in 4 to 6 months. Okay, so any questions?
Hello.
Yes.
Yes, I would just like to ask. So among the roles, who should be responsible for finances in the
I would
project?
assume
So finances of the project is always a sponsor. Who should be tracking the finances? So that part from the Scrum or other part is normally missing. And if you are entering as a project manager, you may be a good person to track those finances. Okay, so next lunch and learn is about maturity assessment for agile teams at projectmanagement.com. If you are a PMI member, you can register and they get filled up very quickly. So go ahead and register at pm.com or from our website, wherever you can get to. And let's see here. So I am delivering a half-day workshop on July 27 on Agile for waterfall and operational work. So as I was talking about, Agile is normally used in software development environments. So if you want to learn about how to use it in other environments, then this may be a half-day course, may be very useful for you. Okay, and this is how you get the PDUs. And if you registered, I think most of you registered. So you will get the PDF of this presentation very soon, and within today, I guess, then you will have that access to that. Okay, more questions. Okay, any other questions? We're just maybe a minute above our time. I can wait for another minute or so if anybody has any questions.
Yeah, I have another question. Would it be? Is it true that a BA normally would be the best person to become a product owner, and a project manager is the best person to become a scrum master if like there are two persons in a team, one is PM, the other is BA?
Naturally, because of their skill set, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, because yes, you are right. They are those are the natural fit for those roles. Yes. Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Have a good long weekend coming up. Enjoy. Be safe.